Phoenixes are rising. So, a topic that is not discussed enough. Let me get my bearings. I'm at work, and I just wanted to do a quick video. I pray that you guys are well. I was listening to, I forget the term, veil of reality or something like that. I'll put it in the description. I'm not home, nor am I at my work computer to be able to look it up. Pardon me. But they were talking about in a podcast that I listened to. And this is right where I have been. I have just never heard people say this. And that basically the tools of narcissism, the tactics of breaking us down. Because I keep saying, you have to die to everything that you think that you know. Because you don't know who has inseminated you. I shared a story of a succubus has a life with other people, but she's obsessed, even vengeful, bitter, because she can't support herself. She supported herself by doing witchcraft on people, even to the point of killing them. What she told me was that she was going to kill me in my sleep because I rejected her. And she couldn't feed off of me. Now, for a while, she had been feeding off of me. She had been feeding off of my ideas. She had been feeding, and I would literally felt tentacles like on my head, and I would scratch and itch, and I'd be like, just because it hurt. I could feel tension. And of course, I'm thinking I'm having a stroke or something. Like, why would I have this? No, it was her. It was her. And again, when you're clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, amongst other things, you can see into the spiritual world, so you can see an apparition, an imprint, a form of them doing what they're doing, or you just smell, and these guys like to project. So anyway, what they were talking about, so when you get into, think about all these social groups, right, because one thing I've noticed is that cluster B personalities, narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, histrionic, borderline personalities, the whole cocktail, they will participate in these social justice groups. Now, notice that these guys call themselves social justice groups, and there's never any justice, right? You got a few people who are getting paid. BLM, I told people that BLM wasn't doing anything. They were worse than the NAACP. Because, see, people nowadays just think that representation means that that's it. You don't have to take action. Representation today has been translated in, I don't have to take action. As long as I say the script, and I use these buzzwords, as long as I say the script, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to take action. And then people wonder why politicians get rehired, because they've said the same thing over and over and over again. You are not holding them accountable. And then when it comes to accountability, me too this, me too that. I have been astral raped. I have had sexual demons sent to me to where I can't sleep properly because I have this thing crawling all over me, or I can't sleep because I have somebody in my dreams. So when you're talking about Me Too, there are different levels of Me Too. But one thing I noticed about the Me Too movement is that it kind of seemed like a sad attempt to bring white women and women of color together against males. right? So here we're, basically what I'm saying, Phoenix, is that there is always this template. So you got the narcissist. It's like we're always being projected. The narcissist, the cluster B personalities are always projecting what they're feeling inside out to us, whether it be our individual relationships or in situationships or whatever, or whether it be a collective group of narcissists. Collectivist narcissism, right? Which doesn't mean that it's the whole country. Sometimes it's the people of that country. You may have a few unicorns, right? Like, for instance, Mexicans can come over anytime they want to. They get free meals and drinks and, jobs and housing and all that, cars, all that good stuff, right? They get protected. We can't do that over in their country. But you point that out and all of a sudden you're racist. See? You got all these social justice schisms. And that's why I said when you got an actress or an actor, right, they'll say, oh, we're for this and we're for that. And yeah, and it's about social, and you speak on it. That's all you're doing. You're just speaking. Some of people don't talk because they're working. They're actually working to change something. Change was done because people were sacrificed, or they sacrificed their time. They sacrificed their energy. They sacrificed time with their kids, their spouses. They outed themselves, right? So it's a whole different thing. And so the projection of, I'm going to talk this talk, right? All these, I want to be a part of the best thing. And I tell you something, one thing that I've noticed with cluster B personalities, these narcissists, these social justice narcissists, these community narcissists, is that they will switch when the tide switches. They have no true resolve. They will switch when the tide switches. Right now, everybody's supposed to hate Republicans. Trump hasn't been in office, but anytime you don't believe in illegal immigration and you don't call them migrants, I've been seeing that now. It's like, oh, it's migrants. No, they're illegal. You're guessing this is the gaslighting, the propaganda, the gaslighting. Is I got all these, basically you have all these social justice schisms, BLM, Me Too, right? Even some of the ones that are supposed to be, quote unquote, white supremacists, where you're doing the OK sign, right, for the KKK, whatever. Like, I bet you anything a liberal came up with that. And it got passed on. See, there are people who sit behind closed doors, behind computer screens or whatever, and they think up trends. They think up patterns. They think up how can we further divide so that we can continue to stay on top. And one thing that I have gotten very upset about, hold on. All right, Phoenixes, thank you for waiting. Duty called. So I did forget what I was saying. And you know what? I'm not going to apologize for it because I am under heavy psychic attack, as I've said, by these gang stalkers who are actual Hispanic gang members. Not all of them are Hispanic, but I've gone through that with, spoken about it before. Go and watch some of the other podcasts. Also, let me take a break here and say that if you would like to support my channel, please consider becoming a Patreon. I have 2 tiers right now. There will be 3, and it's pretty self-explanatory what I'm offering. And I will tell you this, whether it be 10 minutes or of something healing and relaxing, because I will say this, there are times, Phoenixes, where I am so exhausted that I can't pray. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, all I can do is cry. And I'm not ashamed that I cry. I'm not ashamed of it at all. And evil deities, demons, principalities, they work especially hard when you are vulnerable. When I quit smoking, I felt one of the gang stalkers, again, practices witchcraft, and she's done some kind of binding spell that I always have to remove. Like literally, I can feel her superimpose herself, her energy into me when I'm going to sleep. Because she wants to be there, you know what I mean, just to manipulate my dreams, manipulate me, and then I'll wake up feeling all this nasty stuff because she's saying nasty stuff. And it's really hard when you have somebody, I mean, I not somebody, but when you not when you have somebody, but being a person with cluster B personality has got to be hard. Because if it wasn't me that she was targeting, it's somebody else that she's simultaneously targeting. And I've mentioned in other videos where I actually saw her imprint. Like she had cloned herself spiritually. And if you guys go back, well, some of those are on the, you can only watch them or listen to them in the Patreon when I did those lives and we read those articles so I could prove to you guys, look, these people are in the UK, I'm in the United States, and they're talking about human fragmented spirits and fragmented souls, which means that these are people who are alive but are so tormented by the demons, by their bitterness, by their anger, that they literally leave their bodies. So this one, I mean, of course, she's 60 years old. And, you know, and that, I mean, I'm not even going to get into that. But I guess, you know, being delusional about how you look and whatever, you know, because she likes those, from what I gathered, from what she herself told me, again, she's a sexual predator. And I've never met so many women who are sexual predators until I moved to California. Never. Never. I've never met women who freely serve their kids up to predators as if it's a normal thing to do. Right? No mother instinct, no nothing. So of course I come here and I'm an oddity. I'm a refresher, but I'm also a threat. And they have not forgotten it for 10 years. But this person would fragment herself. And, I mean, like, copy, like, pretty much if you're walking down an aisle, imagine that person standing there all the way down to the aisle. They haven't moved, but there's versions of themselves that they've placed there, right? So, you know, and I guess I'm fascinated because it's like, gosh, that has to be, I want to know how to do that. For good, of course, right? Instead of locking myself off because I'm too afraid, right? I wish I'd never done that when I was younger. And I did it myself. There was nobody else because there was something inside. I'm a warrior. So think of Klingon. Just a little bit more, just a lot more emotionally intelligent. But think of Klingon. So anyway, I keep getting sidetracked. I apologize for that. But so you have, I mean, basically social justice movements. We see it's for narcissists to go back and forth. It's to confuse us. So think about when you've been in a relationship with somebody who's character disturbed, extremely toxic, cluster B personality, and there is no let up because they are always cycling within themselves. The way that they treat you, Phoenix, is the way that they feel inside of themselves. The way that these people are attacking me, and I'm literally not doing anything to them. Except for last night, but I was approached, and they will antagonize you, and antagonize you, and antagonize you. I don't recommend anybody doing what I did last night, And it's been 3 or 4 weeks since they were trying to get my goat at another site, and I would go to the train station at that train station. So these are targeted, planned attacks, strategic attacks that they've been doing against me, perpetrating against me. And each time, so, I was like, I'm too expensive for you to mess with. It's like, I'm too expensive. So I know their limit, so I can do that because I know their limit, and I'm not going to exceed mine. Because I do like my freedom. As much as I was salivating at the thought of this person getting their just dues, I'm not God, right? Because, see, that's what they're trying to do with us, is play God, right? We got this Me Too movement, and everybody's going to be held accountable for shit that whether they did it or not. I mean, even something that's just, nudging up against a titty by accident because somebody won't move. Right? I've had that happen. Or some of you, some people take stand your ground, too far. Like, and then you get into this thing where everything is a battle and we're all in competition. That's narcissism. That's cluster B personality shit. It's gotten way out of hand. Like with Black Lives Matter, these women are billionaires. These people are billionaires. You start a chapter, you become a billionaire. You become a millionaire. Somebody donated $65 million to their charity, and they go out and buy properties. Now, did you buy properties for the underprivileged black people that you say lives matter, or did you move your asses in? And see the template. And we are so conditioned not to criticize. It's like, well, people have told me, well, why are you talking that way, or why about your own people? Why are you calling your own people the N-word? Because you have become the embodiment, because you have absorbed it to a point where you don't even recognize who you were authentically before. Because it's paid you. It's paid you. People say, oh, why are you talking about your own people? Why are you saying that to them? Why are you Because my people sold me out. These are the people that prolonged slavery. And it's not my job to counsel people. Just because I want to be free doesn't mean that you have to. But it doesn't mean that you're going to shame me, cancel me, or anything because you don't like what I'm saying. So now we got all these social justice programs. Now they're talking about women from Guatemala or Honduras or something, when they deserve. Well, they got their own country. Why are they here? It's like, but that's a silent thing that's happening. That's like kind of, let's distract you guys, the Americans, with all this stuff, because now we've made it bad to be a Republican. That's, just like Republican is synonymous with racist, and racist with Trump, even though he said he left some gems before he went. He was telling some truth, but because I'm mixed black, supposedly, that makes me like Candace Owens. I'm not supposed to say anything. You see what I'm saying? It's this conditioning. It's this Pavlov dog tactic that we have right now, which is what narcissists do. They don't want you to say anything to contradict them or discredit them, embarrass them, bruise their egos. Because what do these social justice people do? Oh, as soon as you say something, well, all lives matter. Because all lives do matter, right? It's about semantics. That's what it is. And see, when you have so many things that you can sit there and complain about, you are lowering your energy field. You are making yourself available for demon possessions, for walk-ins of demonic entities who get off on you and others arguing over things that aren't changing anything. Because a lot of times people join social justice movements just like they become counselors because they're still bitter inside and they want a way to vent that doesn't directly lead to the pain that they've been keeping. This is why I don't do. I learned so I'm so grateful, but it has been so lonely. I'm so grateful, but it's been lonely, Phoenixes. Because like I said, when you die to what people have conditioned you to be, to what you thought you even liked. I always told people when I was in my tweens, I said, hey, I am constantly evolving. I am not going to be the same. You're not, and I always hated it. And the more I read, the more I was able, the more verbs and adjectives and nouns and pronouns and things of this nature I had at my disposal to be able to say, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of having to walk on eggshells because somebody doesn't like me saying the truth or just saying my truth. Now, my truth is indisputable, but yet people will do it. And when they figure out that they can't because you have a powerful voice, then they try and kill you. We've had leaders all across the globe who have been murdered, assassinated by cluster B personalities who didn't want to have this come out because they would lose their grip. They would stop being able to play that flute to sing everybody, lull everybody to sleep. Because I don't know about you, Phoenixes, but that's what I'm feeling now. We're all dealing with so much. I still have, with cluster B personalities, they don't care because they don't feel. They're emotionally immature. Where they say, well, I don't care as long as you don't start rising up, as long as you don't outshine me. It's just about you. Like that obsession is so real to the point where it's like it consumes them. And it's sad. It's sad that somebody would stay up 24/7 doing witchcraft spells, conjuring demons, astral projecting from their bodies after taking, whatever drug to get them out of their consciousness, to get them into another world. That's what, LSD was, is to get you into another dimension, to where you are so jealous of somebody who is just living their life. And one thing that social justice, piercing the veil, by the way, piercing the veil, or the veil of reality. Type Google either one of those, piercing the veil or the veil of reality. They are a very good podcast, and they also have coaching. So go check them out. But again, I will do it in the description, but I just wanted to, because I'll edit this and replay it and remember for myself. Sometimes when I'm doing podcasts like in this style, where it's just, screen and advertising, some little animation for you guys, letting you know about the services and the workshops that are coming up. The workshops I'm not going to hold anymore. I'm just going to put them on my Patreon. I'm going to go over these classes, these mini workshops I'm going to do, and then I'm going to just post them on the Patreon, and they'll be in their own tier. They'll be in their own tier, and that's not going to be too much because I want people to start understanding, to get this little, it may be $8, $10 a month, for you guys to get it, but I'm going to get a chunk out. Like I said, I've been under attack so heavy. I had somebody yell in my ear, again, clairaudient, And I'd been feeling like this weight on me, this demon on me. I started feeling dizzy in my head in different parts. I'm like, okay, I mean, you know, and I had to start crying. I finally had to say to the Most High, I said, God, look, I am tired. I think I'm at my wit's end right now because it's never ending. And I'm just trying to go on with my life, make money, produce, you know, content, workshops, be in my purpose, and it constantly gets disrupted by people who think that I don't deserve because I didn't allow them to beat me willingly. See, there are people, and with these social groups, justice groups, many of them don't do anything. You will know them by their fruit, Phoenixes. Many of them don't do anything. Just like you have the people who, you know, you got the artists. Edward Bernays knew the power of advertising and using artists, right? He knew that power. He knew that if you had somebody like Rosario Dawson or Kerry Washington, right? Tom Selleck or whoever, right? They knew that if you had this star, because people idolize, right? We always want to tap out because we've been traumatized so much to the point that we can't handle our lives. And we need something to, because I know it's called disassociation, right? I watched Little House on the Prairie. TV raised me. And I grew up with that government cheese. That was the best cheese, though. That cheese was cheddary. You wasn't getting, I still ain't found that quality of cheddar. I don't know how they did it. It was an ugly packaging with a beautiful taste, though. But anyway, you know, I disassociated with music. Listening to the top 100, you know, listening to Motown. I was telling somebody that Luther Vandross and Anita Baker have never failed me. I was listening to them when I was preteen. You know? So I was really thinking, it's like, gosh, how old were those guys? And they're, you know, Luther has transitioned. He's with the Ancestors, but, you know, I'm like, whoa. You know, but that's how I got through the beatings, the starvations, the embarrassment, the shame, the violations to my person, right? That's how I got through. Was through music, was through whatever TV show I was allowed to watch, right? And it was usually because I had a white stepmom. And, you know, you could be racist and still be dating somebody of that color that you were racist towards. That's what she taught me. So, yeah. But anyway, Edward Bernays knew that, you know, you want to get people's attention, you got to pull out their heartstrings. You got to pull out what he did with the women smoking the cigarettes in the parade was, their torches of freedom. See, you screw with their hearts, you screw with their minds, you screw with their language. You know? So that's what I think is holding a lot of people back, because it's like, okay, well, finally, on one hand, you know, gays are allowed to marry, but nobody had the right to dictate whether gays needed to marry or not. Who had the right to be couples? Nobody had that right to dictate that. And so, if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole, what is very a lot of times you got the people who are creating these movements and whatnot, but they're the ones who are absolutely against it. You have people who disagree, but they'll regurgitate the slogans, They'll regurgitate the buzzwords. And I think that's what's hard for people, Phoenixes, to really truly tap out, because it's a lonely road. And it's not, it would be different if it was just a lonely road, but it's not just a lonely road. It's a road that if we go down it to our freedom, that's what costs us, is the free will to go, what costs us is our peace. What costs us a lot of times is interpersonal relationships, where we may love somebody, but we differ here, right? And some things are unexcusable. I remember somebody I had a crush on, and they ended up supporting somebody who was a sex offender. And I couldn't understand that. It's like, it's right here in your frickin' face. So I was like, okay, I'm off of it. I've been healed. I've been delivered. I've been delivered. So, yeah. So it's a hard road for those people who are afraid. Right? And it's not like, hey, I don't blame you. This has been a scary ride for me. I have never in my life, I have had clan members. Like literal clan members. People are like, oh, no. I'm Generation X, and I remember them doing their parades right along with the skinheads, clan members and skinheads. Ooh, girl, just remembering all that. But yeah, I remember, when Klan were coming after people, murderous stuff or whatever. And it's just amazing to me that there are people out there. And see, this is why you have to be careful with these social justice. And just because you have your favorite actor or actress who's representing this product or this group or this cause, and I think sometimes what gets me is that people say, oh gosh, well, you're not supporting the rainforest, or this is water and you need to support this and you need to do this and you need to do that. And if you don't, then I can't talk to you. I can't be around you. But see, they're not really putting in any work. They're not even putting in any money towards it. See, you got to really be careful of people who belong to a lot of organizations, because there's something that they're trying to cover up. And that's why they belong to all those organizations. I'm a doer. I do, and then I get a result. That's if I'm not seeing a result, I can talk for 30 minutes and that's it. The 30 minutes is stretching it, like 5-10 minutes. Give me the breakdown quickly, succinctly state what the objective is and how we're going to get there, what my role is, and let me be about my business. That's how I am. I don't need anybody to hold my hand, but see, then that's how you can tell. It's like who's ready to do the work, who's already done the work. If you're about it, you're going to your fruit will show that you've already put in work. Because other than that, you're a silently paid sponsor. Because I've noticed, and again, the cluster be the similarities of a collectivist, narcissistic culture versus dealing with a narcissist individually. It's the same thing, though. You just got more of them. This time, claiming that Black Lives Matter, or claiming that they're going to start holding people accountable for sexual assault. They're going to stop sex trafficking, right? You're not going to stop sex trafficking because you benefit from it. And the people who benefit the most from sex trafficking and the study was done, a lady did a study on TikTok about it, and she said that it's mostly in the European, the Asian countries that are profiting where it's the heaviest concentration. But it is, I am surprised that it's come upon America like it's done. You know, but then again, when you see how our demographics have changed, our, racial demographics, where we have a lot of people who are illegal. I don't give a shit what you say. You're not here on a passport, or you're here on a worker's permit that you keep renewing, or there's women that are from Guatemala, right? They're from Guatemala, El Salvador, Venezuela, and they're here and they're working. And I asked one lady, she has to do translation. We have to do the Google Translate app with her so she can understand. And she works, and she was like, I don't have papers, I don't have anything. And I'm thinking, the Indians from India own these hotels, and either they hire each other, which is against our laws because you're discriminating, or they hire, for some reason they have this pact with Hispanics. And I think that's because they pay them less. But she was telling me, I asked her, I said, do you have any help? Right? Because, I still have a heart, but I'm going to say, just because I say a truth about a situation that doesn't shine a favorable light on a race, a culture, a gender, an organization, doesn't mean that, I'm going to start burning crosses or flags or houses or anything like that. It's just, I'm going to tell the truth because you're not going to gaslight me that this stuff's not happening when I see it every damn day. When I got to deal with it every damn day. Right? So I was asking her, I was like, do you have anybody to help? And she was like, no, just me and God. And that's, for some reason, her saying that just struck me, because when I was on the streets homeless, it was just me and God. Right now, it's just me and God. I realize that it's only been me and God. Sometimes, Phoenix says, it's this journey. This journey can get real lonely, and to the point where we don't recognize when we have a season of being able to partner up, where it's so uncomfortable that we just don't do it. It's like, if we don't want to be friends. Now, see, we've built ourselves up, Phoenixes, to the point where we've dealt with a lot, and we're coming from love, and we're vibrating high, and we're natural healers. People can sit in our presence, and, they love our conversation and whatever. And, I've had people get mad at me, think that I was leading them on or something, and it's like, no, I'm just being me. I'm just being me. You fell in love with me. You didn't fall in love with a ploy, with a scheme, with a con artist, and so that's what's hard for many of us, is because it's like, gosh, I have seen so much and done so much, and it's like, yes, I have compassion, but I'm not really willing to get into a relationship, But anyway, I digress a little bit. But yes, these social, it's a reflection of being in an individual relationship with a narcissist, because they will regurgitate and they will wear those hats. They will regurgitate what it is that they know is, that will get them a supply, right? And it's with social, that's considered as a primary supply. Social justice groups and organizations, because it's outside of you, they can get some street cred. These are the people who, not all of them, but some of them, they're the ones who are always with somebody, or people are always pining for their time, because, it's that guru stuff that they got going on, and everybody wants to have sex with them, because like groupie shit. Groupies. And, but just with an individual or a collective, they're always spouting, this is what I do. Virtue signaling was the term that they had used on this podcast, and that's what it was like, okay, yeah, because they had called it narcissism too. Here's the thing, Phoenix, is when you focus on yourself, you don't have time to screw with everybody else. I don't want to know what other people are doing unless God puts it on my heart to know. If I'm given specific directions and, hey, go here because or just go here. Sometimes God just says, go here. And I'll do it because I literally have to tap out because I'm so reserved, right? And so I literally have to be out of my mind in order for that command, so to speak, to be received. Because in my mind, I'm thinking I don't want to deal with anybody, right? I've been on that thing today. It's like I don't want to deal with anybody. I'm dealing with a lot. I'm upset. I feel like I'm going out of my mind, but here I am. And I don't want to deal with more than what I'm right now. I feel tapped out, which is why I haven't been producing a lot of content. But I'll get my microphone out and record because something because it needs to be done. Again, it's obedience. Whatever. But yeah, so the thing of it is you caution yourself to do they have something to show for what they say they've done. Like here, one thing that I've noticed is, and I was so happy because the Latinas seem to be running it when they're with their independent film companies, Jennifer Lopez and Rosario Dawson, actually, she's a producer, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she's produced several films, and a lot of them have been like B+ or indie films. Sometimes she's been in, she's starred in them, sometimes she hasn't. Same thing with Jennifer Lopez, you know what I mean? And New Rican is hers, and Tribe is Rosario's. Because I've been wondering about that. I was like, gosh, like wouldn't it be good to, work for a studio or whatever, of somebody that you admire or had admired. I can't say that I admire any of it now. Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of hidden to the point where I started to think to myself, I was like, okay, I remember when Queen Latifah was offering like grants or something to help black females, I believe it was, with directors or scriptwriters or whatever with their projects. But I went to the site, you couldn't tell where to apply. So who was that for? Was it a bait site? What else is she involved in? You see what I'm saying? Like you get into this world and you just start understanding that you got to question stuff. Not everything is just easy peasy. You got to start questioning. You got to question, why can't you just fill out the form on this site? Why can't it just be there? You've been advertising in Essence magazine online and off. So what are you actually, you know what I mean? Like, are you a bait car or something like that? Are you trafficking? What you doing? So anyway, but you have to be careful, Phoenixes, because sometimes they say, well, why am I attracting this narcissist again? Because you may be involved in something that seems helpless or harmless or seems to be promoting justice and peace and all that other kind of stuff. But that's where the other narcissists hide, and they know that you're an authentic one, and they feel threatened by authenticity. And because your authenticity can out their disingenuous behavior, personality, right? You can out them, and they know it. So they're in competition because they're always thinking from a place of poverty and scarcity. You're not in competition with these guys at all, but they are with you. So be careful what you join, because many of these social justice organizations, and I'm not saying don't join them, but I'm just saying, you can tell them by their fruit. What is their fruit? What are they actually doing? Like Jennifer Lopez and Rosario are actually producing, directing, filming. You see what I'm saying? Like, but they're cliquish, of course. But there's some it's not cliquish. It's just, when you get to know people and you have a bond, then you work with them, right? So, I mean, they're producing good fruit. They're producing what they've been doing, wanting to produce. So don't be so quick. Sometimes just learn to start your own stuff. Like I've been saying, I've been this filmmaker for a minute. I'm like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to have this and I want to have that. Right? And I feel defeated and I feel scared because and God put this up to my heart today, not to hurt me, but just to help me to get the full picture. And I noticed a pattern. I said, Lord, I have never deterred away from being a storyteller, whether that's being a filmmaker or a poetess, a documentist, a novelist. I've always, the common denominator is storytelling to heal. Storytelling also to leave my imprint. Like that was what he brought up to me. And I said, yeah, and I've always had, and I had this vision of this lady trying to pass herself off. She hated me, and it was almost as if whatever demon was inside of her was mutating her. And it almost came all the way out, and she caught herself. And I had problems so when you let somebody know, see, my problem is that every time I tell my story or I tell my ideas, right, and in a setting where you're supposed to tell your ideas, right, you don't have white people. I mean, you have people. Let me not generalize. Let me not get on that bandwagon. But what I experienced were people literally stealing my ideas, taking credit for work that I had done on the, you know what I mean? When I was in, not film school, but I took a 1-year program teaching the basics of film, which was quite inadequate. But I took it at the time in ignorance, not knowing that. And then when I worked on my master's, went for my master's, trying to, because I was always taught, hey, you got to get this piece of paper. Doesn't matter how far in debt you go into, as long as you got that piece of paper, they're going to take you seriously. And that's another program, right? And so this is victim predator, this victim survivor, victim, victim predator, right? Well, if somebody's going to victimize you, if you don't have the paperwork, so don't be a victim. And you know what I mean? But when you go through that initiation, that conditioning to be a receptacle, like, Paulo DiCarlo, I believe was his name, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and I read that when I was working on my bachelor's. I read a lot of good books, including, it upsets me because I got her image right now in my head. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. And she just passed away, I believe, of colon cancer. And she literally saved my life. She wrote Ain't I a Woman? About black women in America and white women, the discrepancies. Bell hooks, thank you. It took me a while, but I got it. So, bell hooks, learned about her. Anyway, in trying to find that, I got sidetracked. Sorry, guys. But anyway, so yes, I've always been on that path of storytelling. I didn't know how it was going to manifest, but I was letting it manifest. But I realized that on the way, I was always given some type of distraction, and I was taken back a month, a year or two, right? Like, I have to be honest, Phoenix says, I believe that because of my past, that this present was supposed to be a lot more lucrative than it was. And I took a wrong turn somewhere, right? I didn't listen because I decided that I wasn't going to listen to adults because they weren't an appropriate, adequate authority for me to listen to. That and cops, right? Because when the cops can't take a sex offender away and a womanizer and a child abuser away because, he has a smile and he's charming suddenly, right? And it's like, oh, well, you just do what you got to do. You got to be a normal child, right? They want to do. It's amazing the hypnotism that narcissists and other cluster B cocktail can put on people, right? To where they have no qualms with pretty much just hanging themselves, Pardon me. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's my day off now. But so yeah, he just said, it's like, it's you. But see, now that I understand what the forces of evil are. Like, there is actually an evil sect. It's not like something made up. It's not fantasy. It's not fairy tales, right? You can't heal it with love. All it does is absorb it within itself, and it goes nowhere to the point where it dissipates, right? It may get them off for a little bit, but it doesn't really do anything for them. Because, see, they can't produce it. When I show somebody else love, it triggers the love that they have inside of them, right? Our vibrations are both raising at the same time. But when you have somebody with a cluster B personality, when you show them love, they don't quite know what to do with it. Or when they feel that feeling of love, they don't quite know what to do with it. It actually makes them irritated at first, right? But it's addicting like sugar. It's like, okay, well, that felt good. That got, because it's something different from feeling negative and murderous towards other people all the time. But it's a thing that they cannot produce. They can't produce anything else but evil. And so that makes them more jealous, and then suddenly they're in a competition with you. I mean, that's it. But that's what God was telling me. It's like, look, these people have always been here, and because you've risen at a high you vibrate high, and I'm not sure what I vibrate at right now. I'm feeling a little bit oppressed, and again, because of the situation that I'm in, and but at that time, people would be fascinated with me, like I was a little oddity, or they just want to be around me. Especially older women would want to be around me because they wanted to siphon that energy. They wanted to get their youth back. And that's one thing that I have been sorely against and caution you guys, is to keep my vibrancy, to keep and like I said, I have always been able to see the brighter side, focus on the brighter side, focus on what you do have. That's that gratitude list, right? Focus on what you do have. The trouble don't last always. It may last longer than what you need it to, or what you expected to, what God told you it would, but it don't last always. I know a lot of us are tired, we're exhausted, and we don't want to deal with people anymore. And, I get it. But as long as you have learned to stay the course, like I said, I have people who are still attacking me. So, God was just letting me know it's not necessarily you. But now that I have that maturity and I've grown that child up within myself, now I can respond calculated, right? I trust my intuition because I trust God to talk to me, to give me revelations, right? That's why I trust God. So it's okay. It's okay to get frustrated, Phoenixes. It's okay to be alone. You don't have to join something just to hide your fears, to hide your loneliness, to hide your bitterness, right? You don't need to do all that. Just be truthful and honest with yourself. Pardon me. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I wanted to bring up, is these social justice groups are filled with collectivist narcissists or narcissists, communal narcissists, and to beware. You have the right. Nobody has the right to cancel anybody. I mean, I don't care. You can make a comment on it, and hopefully, it can be a great debate of some sort between you and another person, but you don't have the right. You don't pay anybody's bills, let alone take away their livelihood, let alone thinking that type of shit is normal. Oh, yeah, girl, I'm going to go to church. Wait, why? Well, you did what you did. You didn't make amends for it, so you're not sorry. So anyway, I hope what I've said here helps you guys and gives you guys something to learn. Please go to my link tree in the description or in the About page for YouTube or the profile for Instagram and TikTok if I post it over there. But yeah, and so just know that that I got workshops that I'm working on. Bear with me, please. But right now you can you can purchase the tiers if you want to, 2 tiers of $15 and $35 if you want to support me and my channel, because it's putting in this work here. So if that's what you want to do, that's great. I'd greatly appreciate it. The first $15 tier, you get 10 minutes relaxing sounds and affirmations, a mixture of that. You also get the TikTok replays that were out for a little bit, but they're exclusively, for you guys. And I'm picking ones that have got real good debates that after we left off, because I love the conversation that you guys have. I love it. You guys are absolutely awesome. And then there's the table. Yeah. Okay. I ran, so I'm like feeling tired. I'm dozing off, and I'm trying to keep up. But yes. So that's what you'll get for the $15 tier, and then the $35 tier is the bomb, because you get 35 minutes to an hour long relaxation and affirmations and ASMRs. And I'm not going to do the popping of the mouth and all that other kind of stuff. But I understand, because I like walking on gravel. I like the way that crunch sounds. I like the way it peaks and kind of pops in my ear, in a ripple effect. So things of that nature, not the pop, because I listened to that on TikTok and I was like, oh my God, no. And she kept doing it, and I was like, okay, this is her channel, so you need to get off. She's doing what she do. So, but yeah, because these are things that the affirmations especially are a way, listening to these at night gets it in your subconscious. It's an easy way to heal yourself, especially if you are under witchcraft and they are trying to cause you to have strokes or high blood pressure or anything else like that, or they're just talking in your head, but you don't even recognize that person, then that's them. That's something that you need to be distracted at night, So, but anyway, all of this is here, and you also get the workshops. I mean, see, this is what I was going to do. I was going to put the workshops in there too. Because they're about an hour long or so, over an hour long workshops. And I wanted to kind of put those in there as well as an extra added, thing, bonus. But we'll see. All right, Phoenix is Rising. Thank you so much for listening and supporting my channel. Thank you so much for your donations. Hit me up on my link tree and my Instagram and the like. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix. And just know that I love you, and remember, your blessings are